Commander Vexthul's massive claws clicked against the metal surface of his command console as he studied the holographic display before him. The blue marble of Earth spun slowly in the projection, its swirling white clouds and vast oceans creating patterns that reminded him of the hunting grounds on his homeworld. But this wasn't about beauty. This was about the hunt. "Magnificent," he rumbled, his voice a deep growl that made the bridge crew straighten with attention. The Kethmori commander stood nearly 3 meters tall, his scaled hide gleaming under the ship's crimson lighting. Forearms ended in razor-sharp talons, and his elongated skull housed a brain evolved for one purpose: identifying and eliminating prey. His lieutenant, Krexfor, approached with measured steps. The younger Kethmori carried a data tablet containing weeks of surveillance information. "Commander, our stealth probes have completed their analysis of the bipedal species." Vexthul's 6 eyes focused on the streaming data. Video feeds showed humans going about their daily lives in cities across the planet. Seoul, Tokyo, New York, London, millions of soft-looking creatures walking slowly along concrete paths, completely unaware that death watched from the void above. "Look at this pathetic display," Vexthul snarled, pointing at a feed showing humans crossing a busy street in downtown Seoul. They move in predictable patterns, no defensive posturing, no awareness of potential threats from above. He zoomed in on a group of office workers chatting casually as they waited for a traffic light. On Keth Prime, prey animals at least scatter when they sense danger. These creatures just walk. Dr. Kim Yuna pushed her glasses up her nose as she finished calibrating the radio telescope at Seoul National Observatory. The night sky had always fascinated her, filled with possibilities and mysteries waiting to be discovered. She had no idea that high above Earth's atmosphere, alien sensors tracked her every movement through the observatory's windows. The Kethmori scanning arrays recorded everything: her slow, deliberate movements as she adjusted equipment, her vulnerable posture as she bent over computer terminals, even the way she unconsciously tucked her hair behind her ear while reviewing data. To alien eyes evolved to spot weakness. Every human gesture screamed helplessness. Across the country in Busan, Park Jin-woo pulled down the metal shutters of his small electronics repair shop. The 60-year-old man had spent another long day fixing smartphones and laptops, his weathered hands gentle with delicate circuitry. He locked the door and began his short walk to the bus stop, moving with the careful pace of someone whose joints ached after decades of detailed work. High above, Kethmori sensors registered his thermal signature and movement patterns. The alien. Computers calculated his walking speed, reaction time, and physical capabilities. Every measurement reinforced their assessment: easy prey. In Incheon, construction worker Lee Minho wiped sweat from his forehead as he secured the job site for the night. His shift at the apartment complex had been long and exhausting, but the thought of seeing his wife and young daughter kept him moving. He climbed into his small truck and began the drive home through the city's evening traffic. The Kethmori surveillance drones followed him invisibly, recording how he navigated traffic with predictable patterns, how he stopped at red lights like a domesticated animal responding to simple conditioning. Their analysis concluded that human reflexes were laughably slow compared to other sentient species they had encountered. Remarkable, Vexthul mused as he reviewed the psychological profiles his science officers had compiled. In our surveys of 47 worlds, we have never encountered a species so utterly defenseless. The Zephyrians at least had natural camouflage. The thorn beasts possessed armored shells. Even the primitive gliders could achieve temporary flight to escape ground predators. He pulled up comparative data on his display. Images of various alien species flashed by, each with their natural defenses highlighted in red text. Venomous spines, reactive armor plating, electromagnetic pulse generation, acidic blood. The galaxy was full of creatures that had evolved to survive. But these humans, he continued, gesturing at the Earth feeds, have nothing. Soft skin that tears easily, slow movement that makes them easy to track, no natural weapons whatsoever. Their young are helpless for years instead of becoming independent within cycles. Krexfor studied the data with professional interest. "Sir, our xenobiologists are puzzled by their evolutionary path. Most prey species that survive to achieve basic technology develop some form of natural defense. These creatures appear to have evolved in an environment with no significant predators. Perfect. Vexthul's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his kind. A world of sheep waiting for wolves. The command bridge bustled with activity as crew members prepared for the great hunt. Weapons were calibrated for non-lethal capture. The Kethmori preferred their prey alive and terrified. Hunting packs received assignments for different continents. Transport ships loaded specialized equipment designed to contain and process billions of captives. "Commander," reported the tactical officer, "all hunter-killer squadrons report ready. Stun web launchers are charged. Containment facilities are prepared. The hunting barges have cleared their cargo holds." Vexthul felt the familiar thrill building in his chest. The great hunt happened only once every few cycles, when the Kethmori fleet encountered a world populated by suitable prey. Earth promised to be the greatest hunt in their civilization's history. "Signal the fleet," he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of absolute authority. "Begin final approach to Sol 3. Today we feast." The first Kethmori assault pods screamed through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars, their heat shields glowing white-hot as they punched through the morning sky. Commander Vexthul watched from his flagship as dozens of sleek hunting craft deployed across the planet's surface, targeting remote settlements where the soft humans would have nowhere to run. "Strike Team Alpha, report," he growled into his communications array. The response should have been immediate confirmation of successful captures. Instead, crackling static filled the bridge. "Alpha Leader to command," came a strained voice. "We have unexpected resistance." In the small mountain village of Huachean, farmer Choi Dae-hyun had been feeding his chickens when the alien pods crashed into the nearby forest. The 60-year-old man had served in the military decades ago, and something about the way the metal objects fell told him this wasn't a meteor shower. He grabbed his hunting rifle from inside his house and speed-dialed his neighbor. "Young-ho, get your gun and meet me at the old bridge," he said quickly. "Something's not right in the woods." Park Young-ho, a retired police officer, didn't question his friend's instincts. Within minutes, both men were positioned behind stone walls, watching as strange figures emerged from smoking craters. The creatures stood 3 meters tall, covered in gleaming scales, with multiple arms ending in claws that could tear through steel. The Kethmori hunters approached the village with casual confidence. Their thermal sensors showed only 2 heat signatures, both elderly and slow-moving. "Easy pickings." The lead hunter, Vexkral, activated his stun web projector and began the traditional hunting call, a bone-chilling howl meant to paralyze prey with fear. Instead of cowering, Choi Dae-hyun took careful aim and fired. The hunting rifle's bullet struck the alien's shoulder armor, spiderwebbing the advanced material. The creature stumbled more from surprise than damage, but the psychological effect was immediate. "They can be hurt," Dae-hyun muttered, working the bolt action. "Young-ho, aim for the joints in their armor." Park Young-ho's police training kicked in. While firing his own weapon, he pulled out his cell phone and started a group video call with every contact in his phone. "Emergency broadcast," he shouted over the gunfire. "Aliens attacking Huachean village. They have armor, but conventional weapons can damage it. Aim for the joints." Within seconds, the video was being shared across social media platforms. The Korean National Police Emergency Network picked up the signal. Military communications centers received the data automatically through connected systems. Captain Song Hyejin was reviewing morning reports at her base in Gangwon Province when every alarm in the facility began screaming simultaneously. The career officer had seen many crises, but nothing like the flood of emergency calls now lighting up her communication boards. "Ma'am, we're receiving reports of hostile contact across 17 locations," her sergeant reported, his voice tight with disbelief. "The descriptions are unusual." Song Hyejin grabbed the phone and connected directly to the Joint Chief's emergency line. "This is Captain Song, Gangwon Command. I need immediate connection to all Allied military networks. We have a situation that requires global coordination." The efficiency of human communication networks shocked the Kethmori hunters. What should have been isolated attacks on helpless villages became interconnected battlefields where information flowed instantly across the planet. In the city of Andong, blacksmith Oh Jimin watched the emergency broadcasts while working in his forge. The 70-year-old craftsman had spent his life shaping metal, and when he saw the alien armor on the video feeds, his experienced eye immediately spotted weaknesses. "The scales overlap like medieval armor," he muttered, grabbing his heaviest hammer. "But look at the joints. They leave gaps for movement." When a Kethmori hunting pod crashed near his workshop, Oh Jimin was ready. The alien. Hunter expected to find a cowering human. Instead, it faced a man who understood metalwork better than anyone. The blacksmith's hammer, swung with decades of practiced strength, found the exact weak point where the creature's armor connected to its torso. The alien's howl of pain echoed across the neighborhood as its sophisticated armor cracked like an eggshell. Oh Jimin immediately started another video call, demonstrating his technique to millions of viewers worldwide. "Hit them here," he said, pointing to the joint areas. "Their armor is strong but not flexible. Use heavy tools, hammers, wrenches, anything with weight behind it." At Suncheon Elementary School, teacher Kang Sujin was leading her students in their morning exercises when the air raid sirens began wailing. The 40-year-old educator had prepared for many emergencies, but never alien invasion. Still, her training kicked in automatically. "Children, emergency drill positions," she called out calmly, even as her hands shook. While guiding 30 frightened students to the reinforced basement, she kept her phone active, streaming everything to the National Education Emergency Network. "All teachers receiving this broadcast," she whispered into her phone. "The creatures are large, but move in predictable patterns. They seem to hunt by heat signature. Cold water and mud can mask human thermal readings temporarily." Her observations, made while protecting children, became tactical intelligence within minutes. Military units across the globe began using thermal masking techniques based on an elementary school teacher's quick thinking. The Kethmori had planned for prey that would scatter in panic. Instead, they faced a species that shared information faster than their ships could travel. Every encounter taught humans something new about their attackers' weaknesses. Commander Vex Thul watched his tactical displays with growing horror. Red. Indicators showed damaged hunters across multiple continents. Worse, the humans weren't just fighting, they were learning. "Status report from all hunting groups," he demanded. "Sir," his communications officer replied with obvious distress. "We have casualties on every continent. The prey species is adapting their tactics in real time." "Impossible," Vex Thul snarled. "Prey doesn't adapt. Prey runs or dies." But the evidence was undeniable. Across Earth's surface, humans were turning from victims into something the Kethmori had never encountered before, prey that fought back intelligently. Dr. Kim Yuna's eyes burned from staring at computer screens for 72 hours straight, but she couldn't stop now. The makeshift laboratory in Seoul's underground bunker buzzed with activity, as teams of scientists worked desperately to understand the alien technology scattered across the battlefield. The breakthrough came when she was examining a damaged Kethmori weapon for the 100th time. Her coffee-stained notebook was filled with failed equations and crossed-out diagrams, but something about the weapon's power coupling caught her attention. The alien crystal that powered their devices pulsed with the same frequency as Earth's electrical grid. "Wait," she whispered, connecting her laptop directly to the alien power source. The screen flickered, then suddenly blazed to life with symbols she had never seen before. "It's not just compatible, it's designed to interface with any electrical system." Dr. Yuna called the emergency council meeting at 3 in the morning, dragging exhausted officials from their beds. General Park Hyun-soo listened with growing excitement as she explained her discovery. "Their weapons aren't just tools," she said, holding up a partially disassembled alien rifle. "They're modular systems. We can plug them into our equipment, our vehicles, even our power plants. The aliens built their technology to adapt to any conquered species infrastructure. Within hours, the first hybrid weapons rolled off production lines in factories across South Korea. Human ingenuity combined with alien technology created something neither species had imagined possible." Sergeant Yang Min-sik strapped the strange device to his chest, feeling its weight against his tactical vest. The captured Kethmori cloaking generator hummed softly, bending light around his body until he became nearly invisible. His squad of 12 soldiers had volunteered for the first stealth mission using alien technology. "Remember," he whispered into his radio, "these things hunt by heat and movement. The cloaking hides us visually, but we still need to move like ghosts." The target was a Kethmori forward operating base established in the mountains near Gangneung. Satellite imagery showed dozens of the alien hunters, using it as a staging area for attacks on nearby cities. It was time to turn the tables. Yang Min-sik led his team through the forest with the patience of experienced soldiers. They had studied hours of footage showing how the aliens moved, learned their patrol patterns, identified their blind spots. The hunters were about to discover what it felt like to be hunted. The first Kethmori sentry never saw them coming. Yang Min-sik's knife found the exact joint in the creature's armor that blacksmith Oh Jimin had identified weeks earlier. The alien collapsed silently, its advanced weapons clattering to the ground. "Target down," he radioed softly. "Package secured." But their mission was interrupted when alien reinforcements arrived unexpectedly. A patrol of 6 Kethmori hunters surrounded the human position, their thermal scanners picking up heat signatures despite the cloaking devices. Private Nam Yunji saw the alien grenade arcing through the air toward her squadmates before anyone else did. The sphere-shaped device pulsed with deadly energy that would vaporize everything within 10 meters. Her fellow soldiers were trapped in the open with nowhere to run. Without hesitation, she dove toward the weapon, covering it with her body just as it detonated. The explosion that should have killed 12 soldiers was contained by her sacrifice, though it cost her everything. The Kethmori hunters who witnessed this act stood frozen in confusion. In their species, individual survival was the highest priority. The concept of deliberately dying to save others was incomprehensible to their predator minds. "Why did it do that?" one hunter asked another in their clicking language. "The individual gained nothing from this action." Yang Min-sik and his surviving squad members used the aliens' confusion to launch their counterattack. The hybrid weapons, powered by captured alien technology but modified with human creativity, tore through the hunter's armor like paper. Back in Seoul, engineer Han Ji-seok worked through his 18th consecutive hour in the weapons factory. His hands moved automatically, welding alien components to human chassis, creating tools of war that neither species could have built alone. "They think they can hunt us like animals," he muttered, sparks flying from his welding torch. "Let's see how they handle being on the wrong end of the food chain." His latest creation was a shoulder-mounted launcher that fired modified alien stunwebs back at their creators. The irony wasn't lost on him, using the hunter's own capture devices to trap them instead. Across the planet, similar scenes played out as humanity adapted with terrifying speed. In Tokyo, engineer Tanaka Hiroshi reverse-engineered alien aircraft engines. In New York, physicist Dr. Rodriguez cracked their shield technology. In London, weapons expert James Patterson learned to manufacture their armor-piercing rounds. The global communication networks that had helped coordinate Earth's initial defense now shared technological breakthroughs in real time. What took the Kethmori centuries to develop, humans mastered in weeks through worldwide collaboration. Commander Vexthal stared at his tactical display in growing horror. Red warning lights blinked across every continent as his hunting parties reported contact with human forces equipped with Kethmori technology. "How is this possible?" he snarled at his science officer. "Our weapons are biometrically locked to Kethmori physiology." "Sir," the officer replied nervously, "the humans appear to have bypassed our security systems entirely. They're not just using our weapons, they're improving them." The final insult came when human forces began launching coordinated attacks on established alien positions. In Australia, hybrid human-alien aircraft strafed a Kethmori base with their own energy weapons. In Brazil, human soldiers wearing modified alien armor stormed a hunter outpost with impossible silence and efficiency. The prey species that the Kethmori had dismissed as defenseless were systematically hunting down the hunters. Humanity had done something no other species in galactic history had accomplished. They had turned a predator invasion into a learning opportunity. Yang Minsik's squad returned to base, carrying enough captured alien technology to outfit an entire battalion. As he filed his mission report, he couldn't help but smile grimly. "Mission accomplished," he reported. "The hunters are now the hunted." The modified spacecraft Soul Pride drifted silently through the void, its hull covered in salvaged Kethmori stealth plating that made it nearly invisible against the star. Field. Captain Song Hyejin gripped the command chair as her ship approached the massive alien mothership, hanging in Earth's orbit like a metallic moon. "All stations report ready," she whispered into her headset. Behind her, a crew of 50 volunteers, prepared for humanity's most audacious mission yet. They weren't just going to board an alien vessel, they were going to capture it intact, the Kethmori mothership. Bloodhunter stretched over 2 kilometers in length, its dark hull bristling with weapon arrays designed to bombard planets into submission. But the humans had learned something crucial from intercepted communications. The ship's crew had never fought an enemy that could reach them in space. "Engineering status on the hybrid drive system," Song Hyejin called out. "Captain, the alien engines are running perfectly," came the reply from Chief Engineer Ko Yunsu. "Whoever designed this technology never imagined it being used against them." Down. On Earth's surface, Colonel Shin Wubin coordinated the ground phase of the operation from a command bunker in the DMZ. His job was to ensure that every remaining Kethmori base on the planet was hit simultaneously, preventing any reinforcements from reaching their mothership. "Phoenix Team report," he spoke into his radio. "Ground targets locked," came the response from Lieutenant Kim Junho, leading a strike force equipped with captured alien vehicles. "We have visual on their main base near Mount Jiri, ready to begin assault on your mark." The beauty of the human plan was its simplicity. While the aliens expected desperate attacks or attempts to drive them away, humanity had chosen a different approach entirely. They were going to capture every Kethmori leader alive and force them to call off the invasion. Aboard the Soul Pride, Communications Officer Im Soo-young worked frantically at her station, surrounded by alien technology, cannibalized from dozens of crashed ships. Her breakthrough had come from studying how the Kethmori transmitted orders across their fleet. "Captain, I've cracked their command frequency," she announced, her fingers dancing across both human keyboards and alien control surfaces. Their entire communication system uses rotating encryption keys, but they never expected anyone else to have their hardware. Song Hyejin smiled grimly. "Patch me through to their mothership. Let's announce our arrival." The transmission that reached the Bloodhunter was in perfect Kethmori military protocol, spoken by Im Soo-young in their own clicking language. "Unknown vessel, you are ordered to surrender immediately. Prepare to be boarded." Commander Vexthul stared at his communication array in disbelief. The message was coming from a small ship that had somehow appeared on his sensors without triggering any alarms. Worse, they were using Kethmori command codes that should have been impossible for any other species to access. "Sir," his tactical officer reported with barely controlled panic, "the vessel is moving to dock with Bay 7. Our automated systems are accepting their approach clearance." "How is this possible?" Vexthul snarled. "Override the docking protocols." "I can't, Commander. Their ship is broadcasting authentic Kethmori military identification. Our computers think they are one of our own vessels returning from a hunt." The docking was executed with surgical precision. Human engineers had spent weeks studying captured alien ship designs, learning how their airlocks functioned, how their corridors were laid out, where their critical systems were located. Demolitions. Expert Bai Taihyun was the first through the airlock, his backpack filled with precisely shaped charges designed to disable rather than destroy. The veteran soldier moved through the alien corridors with methodical efficiency, placing explosives at strategic points throughout the ship's infrastructure. "Charges set on decks 3 through 7, he radioed back to the boarding team. "Their power distribution system is more vulnerable than we thought. I can shut down their engines and weapons with a single detonation." Behind him, the human assault team advanced with the patient discipline of apex predators. These weren't the panicked prey the Kethmori expected to face. These were soldiers who had studied their enemy's psychology and turned it against them. The alien crew, bred for millennia to hunt defenseless creatures, simply couldn't adapt to organized resistance aboard their own ship. They retreated in confusion, as humans systematically captured corridor after corridor, using stun weapons and capture nets, originally designed for hunting Earth's population. Dr. Park Jun-ho followed the combat teams with scientific fascination, observing how the alien hunters reacted when their roles were reversed. The xenobiologist had volunteered for the mission specifically to study Kethmori behavior under stress. Remarkable, he spoke into his recording device while watching a group of alien warriors huddled together in terror. Their entire social structure is based on dominance over weaker species. When faced with equal or superior force, they have no behavioral framework to fall back on. Vexthul found himself trapped in his command chamber as human soldiers sealed off every escape route. Through his monitors, he watched his crew being systematically rounded up like the prey animals they had hunted across the galaxy. "Commander," his Lieutenant Krexivor gasped, cowering behind an overturned console, "what are your orders?" For the first time in his long life, Vexthul had no orders to give. Every tactical manual, every hunting strategy his species had developed over centuries, was useless against an enemy that fought with coordinated intelligence. The command chamber doors hissed open, and Captain Song Hyejin entered with her weapon lowered but ready. She looked at the towering alien commander with the calm assessment of a professional soldier. "Commander Vexthul," she said in accented but clear Kethmori language, "you are now our prisoner. Your ship, your crew, and your invasion fleet are under human control." The alien's 6 eyes focused on her with a mixture of rage and something he had never experienced before: fear. "This is impossible. You are prey. Prey does not capture predators." Song Hyejin's smile was cold as winter. "You're right about one thing. We were prey. But now, you're going to learn what happens when prey evolves into something much more dangerous. Through." The ship's communication system, Im Soo-young's voice echoed in perfect Kethmori military dialect. "All hunting vessels, this is Mothership Blood Hunter. Cease all operations immediately and prepare for new orders from your human commanders." The greatest hunters in the galaxy had become the hunted, captured by the very creatures they had dismissed as helpless. The irony wasn't lost on anyone aboard. The ship, as humanity claimed its first interstellar victory,